Rajat, glad you found me too. You are kind and wonderful. Thank you for that. I'm guessing you're pretty kind and wonderful yourself. How do you think the career growth can be made possible, especially in remote jobs where limited interaction happens with the manager? I love this question. Okay, folks, we're all facing this, right? But what I would say to you, so Rajat, this is awesome question. But I would say this to you all always. Doesn't matter what the working environment is. Your growth is solely up to you, right? Yes, some employers, great employers, really facilitate that growth, really provide challenging opportunities, do pay for, right, you to go to take expensive training and all that good stuff. But to me, the growth happens based on how aggressively you want to pursue outside knowledge of what you're doing on any given day, what your subject matter is and what your role and responsibilities are. Your growth and your ability to do whatever you're doing better, hit the next level, and so on is incumbent upon you. Let me give you a story. I worked remotely. I started a recruitment firm, and I was a solo practitioner. I was by myself. But this could go to anybody, right? Doesn't matter what you're doing. And I had this friend, her name was Trisha. And I talked to Trisha about becoming a recruiter because she was an executive recruiter. And Trisha said to me, who's very smart, very successful, said, hey, there's this book. You should go and get this book. It's kind of like the Bible in recruiting by this guy. And she gave me the name. So I looked up the book and I looked and he had a website. So I picked the phone and I called him. Just picked the phone up and I'm like, he answered the phone. I said, hey, my name's Andy and my friend Trisha gave me your name and I want to buy your book. Can you send me your book? He said, yeah. He said, my book is like the second book you should read. There's this other book called Search and Placement by this guy, and this guy just died and he didn't finish the book, so I finished that book for him. You should get both of these books. No problem. He said, read this one first, read this one second. I got the book, I read the book, and I looked at the book. Now, this goes to the heart, to the thing I was teaching in the lesson, the package, the opening package, about the disconnect between what you're doing and what you're experiencing and what's really happening. And I read this book, and I read the next book, and I thought to myself, there's no way I'm doing recruitment this way, because this has taken all the aid, all the human element out of it. Talked about mechanics of working your desk and how many phone calls you need to make and all this and that. And I threw the books out. I said, I'm not doing that at all. I don't really care. I'm not doing it that way. And I don't care if that's the Bible or not. Okay? And so I said to myself, from a growth standpoint, how do I become the best recruiter ever? Well, recruitment's about psychology. It's about human moves. It's about helping people, right? It's about understanding how people think, right? It is about selling, and it is about presenting, and it is about building value, and it's about, so I had to go get all the books on all those other things, right? And this is 2000, right, and 4. So the internet was happening, but it wasn't loaded with all this other stuff like we have today, and YouTube was like not, was nothing. Okay, so all that stuff wasn't available. So I had to take it upon myself to figure out, how do I grow? If you're in sales, are you reading psychology and influence books? Are you reading organizational books? Are you talking and following people and so on? That's how you grow. Okay, so the career growth that you have that's where it comes from. And yeah, you learn some stuff on the job, right? Between the 8 and the 5. Or 9 and the 5, or some of you for 9 and 6, or whatever it is. But that's not where the growth comes. That's not where hypergrowth comes from. It comes from all that other stuff. You need to outline a plan for yourself based on the capabilities that transcend what you do at any moment in time. So a lot of you folks, when we talk about how to recruit, we talk about how to change careers, when we talk about how do I become better, and I always talk about it's the foundational capabilities that you need to grow. What makes a great salesperson great? Well, it doesn't matter what they're selling, product or service. It doesn't matter what widget they're selling. All great salespeople know how to read the room. They know how to make a sale, right? They know how to communicate. They know how to listen. They know how to influence. They understand all of these things. That's what transcends the product, the service, right? They know how to build trust. They have integrity and all those things. You learn about all that. You don't learn about that on the job. You learn about that after the job ends that day and the next day, and then the weekend comes, and so on. That's where career growth comes, and it doesn't matter how big your company is, how small your company is, whether you're a solo practitioner, whether you own the business, whether you are right out of college or whatever. It just doesn't happen between 9 and 5. And so you got to take it upon yourself. I know I'm really going on about this, but this is the biggest mistake or lack of action I see people take that prevents them from growing. I coach people. I coach people that want that high performance. It's like, I already got my job. I want to be the best at my job. So, okay, great. What do we need to do to be the best? Well, here's your goals. Okay, you're here. These are your goals, right? You're here. These are your goals. Okay, what are you doing each day that's moving you to this? Because I don't see it on your calendar when I look at that, right? And it's being proactive about paying yourself first in time that you have to spend training. This week alone, it's Thursday. I've already trained 6 hours on stuff that is completely independent of anything that I do with you guys. I mean, I've been training myself on focus, right? So, like, how do I do this for this long and love it every minute and make sure I can be 100% of me, giving you all the energy I have, totally focused on you? Like, I have to train myself on how to do that. And right, so that's what I do. Next week it'll be something else. The week after it'll be something else. But like that time was planned and carved out. And sometimes it's before everybody wakes up, or it's after everybody goes to sleep, or if it's on the weekends or whatever. That's what you got to do. So when I'm interviewing, and if I'm looking for a job, I'm not spending a lot of time asking them about how are they going to help me grow my career. I might ask, are there opportunities for me to evolve in your organization? Like, is there a career path? If not, that's okay. If there is, what is it? But I don't ask a lot of questions about, are you going to be spending a lot of money on me to go to training, right? That's me. That's on me. So I hope that helps. That's a little bit philosophy, but there's tactic in there. And if you want more on this, like a lot more on this stuff is in my leadership coaching program, which is a monthly subscription.